What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Christian Kuntz Podcast. We have a little change up in scenery in here today. Vinny has a sickness. He's got the worst immune system in Western PA. So we got Jesse and Trey.
What's going on?
We got Swing behind the boards. We got Bova right here with a camera. We're joined by a very special guest, truly a Pittsburgh legend. Let's give it up for Bob Pompeani.
Nice to be with you guys.
Yeah, how you feeling, Bob? How's this
What
feel?
a group, huh?
How's this feel on this side of things? Because I feel like this is a little different for you.
It is a little different because I am on that side,
Yeah.
but I like being on this side once in a while so you can. And I also like the fact that it's kind of whatever it goes time-wise.
Mm-hmm.
My life is constructed with 5 minutes, hard out, get out, go to weather.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever's next. So I have to respect that, but you don't have enough time to really say what you really want to say.
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
Sometimes. So this is a nice welcome treat.
Well, speaking of that, you've been with KDK for 39 years. You corrected me.
43.
43.
I'm older than you think.
How your golf games doesn't say that you're that old though.
You haven't played me yet, have you?
We're gonna play this summer. This summer,
Okay.
he's been sandbagging. I think he's.
Sandbagging.
I think you're.
Again, misinformation. Where are you taking that? Where'd you get that from? I'm not a sandbagger.
No, I'm kidding. We're gonna get our rounds in.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's a great sport, as you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
It offers you an opportunity as you get older. See, first of all, I'm doing what I do because I can talk a lot faster than I can run. So I knew that at a young age. I can't be an athlete like you guys. I can't be running around doing those kind of things. So the best thing to do is this. And this made sense to me after I had a couple of medical situations with my heart. I had open heart surgery twice as a kid.
Wow.
As a kid.
Wow.
I actually was, my goal was to be a golfer. And I was a pretty good golfer at the time at Hopewell High School, my brother and I. And then that happened. I had strep throat, which I had no idea. You're going to be a daddy, so congratulations.
Thank you,
One thing
thank
I will
you.
advise anyone who has young kids, make sure if you get like that, don't take it lightly.
No.
Not that I did or not that my parents did, but I had no idea
Right.
that what I had. I thought it was just a cold or it didn't bother me. Turns out it's a virus that can attack your heart valves. And in my case, it did, and it damaged my valves. So I had a first time at age 18, then again at 25, they crack your sternum. Once they crack your sternum a few times,
Oh my God.
because they've changed it now. Technology has gotten better. They don't do it that way. When I had it done, so you can't play golf, you know, when they crack your sternum. At least I start favoring things. I was afraid of my chest being, you know, all that stuff. So that's when, you know, as a 17-year-old kid, you sit there and your mom and dad are telling you, this is God's plan, whatever it is. There's something else out there for you.
Yes.
And so that's what I did. I turned to this.
So how did you turn? Like when you were coming out of high school, media wasn't obviously what it is now. So
No.
how did you?
As evidenced by this palatial estate, which I'd love to be able to borrow from you guys from time to time.
So how did you manage to like get into broadcasting? Did you ever envision yourself as being the voice of Pittsburgh sports? Because
I don't know if I look at myself that way. I've been doing it for a long time, and I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, it's fun. I just want to do something. I love sports. I would tell anyone, if whatever passion you have, right? You, for example, with your Louis Vuitton shoes, which are going to cost me some money. I know that.
I'll take it
I
easy
know
on you.
that. Although I may have to ask you for myself personally about that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
My cleats can be my cleats, right?
Yeah,
I can do
yeah.
that if that's the thing. No, I just knew that I liked sports, and my father said, you know, you have a pretty good voice for it. Why don't you just try to do some? So I got very active in high school, doing everything I could. Worked for a local radio station with a guy named Bill Fontana at WMBA. I said, I'll do whatever you want. I used to bring him donuts at night, put it in front of his door, just hire me, do whatever. I'll do whatever it takes, you know. And so I got experience. Got an internship when I went to Penn State for 2 years, Point Park. After that, I got hired at KDK and been there ever since. So it's been fun. I can only tell people, if you have a passion, follow it. Don't be discouraged by it. If there are things that happen along the way, there are bumps in the road. You just got to figure out how to get around them.
What's your
And
favorite?
look, you are a perfect example of this, right?
Thank you.
Reinventing yourself.
Yeah,
I was every time I tell people about his story, I'm thinking, here he is trying to find a way into this league, but he had to reinvent himself. You know, great linebacker Duquesne, by the way, that's my wife's alma mater.
Yes, I know that.
I know she's so proud. She's, oh my, Christian's such a. I said, I know, you know,
Represent.
sandbagger, Lisa. Let me tell you something. He's another one.
My handicap's true.
No, but I mean, you had to do what you had to do, and your route to get to where you are, the destination justifies your journey. So,
For sure.
and you did it, and so it is. Every one of us is going to have stuff like that, where you don't count on a smooth ride.
Right.
So, just kind of embrace it and know that you have to do what you got to do to keep going.
What do you think has been like one of your most favorite memorable sports moments in Pittsburgh?
Oh,
I mean, I
geez.
know
in Pittsburgh. I mean, there are so many, but I start with the Johnny Cueto game, the Reds and the Pirates.
Yeah.
And
The best.
I mean, not just because it was so different.
Oh, my
you don't
gosh.
hear chants like that at a baseball game, and the
Yeah.
hunger that Pittsburgh Pirate fans have, which, by the way, they still have. Bob nodding, please.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
So, but you saw it on display. They hadn't gone so long without a championship run or every possibility. The people were just enamored with a chance to get a wild card, any kind of game. And
Yeah.
so that everybody, with the black jerseys and everything, and it's chanting Cueto, he drops the ball, next pitch, Russell Martin, boom. That was big.
Yeah.
But there's so many great. I can take you back to hockey games. I was down in Atlanta for the Game 7 because back then, like ESPN didn't have the rights. It was all like CBS had the rights to baseball.
Okay.
Being a CBS affiliate, we carried the games. By virtue of that, we would go before and after games and do pre and post game shows, right? So that was cool. We never had that before. We were down there for Atlanta, Game 7. Pirates leading 2-0, 1 win away from going to a World Series. And all of a sudden, the tomahawk chop starts. I'm downstairs and waiting to go into the Pirates locker room. They're leading 2-0. You'd think, they got this thing wrapped up. You got a great pitch game going. You got Stan Belen in the bullpen. No one's going to. And then all of a sudden, it got louder, that chant. I'm waiting down there. We didn't have televisions to know. There was champagne in the Pirates locker room because they were 3 outs away from clinching this thing. And it got worse and worse. And next thing you know, guy runs in and says, "Move the champagne, take it to the Braves locker room." And I knew then they lost, but I didn't know how they lost. I had to go in and do interviews, and I had to try to figure out what happened, ask people, because I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
that was wild.
That's crazy.
So you've seen media develop in that way where it's like, you've obviously been in it for a very long time. So like, what are some things that you've noticed in the immediate change? Like obviously being in this room is one step of that, but I mean, you've seen it from, earlier stages to now where it's like this. So like, how do you think the future of, if you were now, like, think about it, if you were 20 getting into it now, like, and this is your starting point, like, what do you think the scope of work looks like? Is it?
It's to me, it's just distribution. There's so many ways you can utilize this stuff and move it, whether it's podcast, any sort of way of getting your message out there and your show out there.
Yeah.
This was never possible. There were 3 networks. That was it at the time.
It's crazy.
So there was no ESPN. There was no cable. It was just NBC, ABC, CBS. That was it. So everything was carried. And if you wanted to watch something, that's where you had to watch it. It could be a day later after the news broke, but you still hadn't seen it. So you want to watch. Now it's instant. Everything with all the social media sites.
Yeah.
So I would just say if you have a way of having a good product, whatever that product may be, utilize all the things available to you. I mean, look how many kids have turned out to be superstar singers by putting something on Twitter or
TikTok.
Instagram or
Yep.
TikTok. I TikTok, by the way. Do you?
We know you. I've seen your TikToks.
you
And
TikTok?
they're hilarious.
You're not supposed to be hilarious. What are you laughing at me for?
I don't TikTok. I don't TikTok,
You
but
should TikTok.
Yeah.
That would enhance your,
these guys are
Y'all
trying.
should do a TikTok today. That's what we're going to have to do.
Maybe after we could do a TikTok. Do you have a specific TikTok you like?
I just dance. Do you like to dance?
I'm not very good.
You're a long
gotta see
snapper.
this. I
Come
gotta
on, long
see this.
snapper. That means you're versatile. You can do a lot of things. You should be able to dance.
Bob, I have no rhythm. I have no rhythm.
You're gonna see at the end of the show.
Come on, Trey.
Now, here's the thing, though. You said that you grew up in Hopewell. What was that experience like? 'Cause I know Hopewell's a profound area, so I kind of want to just get your insight during the time period. that you
Hopewell,
were in.
Aliquippa, Ambridge, those 3. We had big
Yeah,
rivalries
man.
back then.
yeah.
At the time, and Aliquippa is always just one of those places where no matter how many athletes they have, how many people, they're going to win wherever
Right.
they is, no matter what classification they put them up to, which I thought was ridiculous anyway. They should be where they are based
Yes.
on
Yeah,
school
yeah.
roster, not because you're good, we're going to penalize you and put you up to 6A. That shouldn't happen. But
Agreed.
yeah, Aliquippa was great. Guys like Don Yanessa. I remember watching Revis, Ty Law, Sean Gilbert,
Wow.
those guys play. And at the time, I'm going to Hopewell, but our team wasn't very good. So I kind of adopted Aliquippa as my team. That I wanted to watch because I wanted to see. Take note, all the Hopewell people, please understand. You know what I'm talking about. We had Tony Dorsett there. It was Dorsett then.
Wow.
Dorsett, after the success came in, and he started getting that.
Oh yeah.
But what an amazing back then too. You know, Trey, they had one team win a conference. That was it. Not 5 teams get in. One team. If you won your conference, Hopewell did have a couple of good teams, but we came in second place, and by virtue of that, then you didn't get to the playoffs because there was no second place team. It was just first place. So things change everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, especially with the whip wheel. We were talking like now that we're on that topic. None of us liked that because when we were all in school, it was 1, 2, 3, 4A. That was it.
Right.
Now with the 6A, they have like 5 teams in 6A, and they can.
I didn't like the expansion. I never did. I think it's better as 4. Plus the rivalries that come with those. You know, you have some of the best rivalries that you don't play anymore.
Yes,
it's so crazy.
So why is that?
So crazy.
Whatever the reason, I don't agree with it, and I think they should change back, but they won't.
I agree with that. I want to jump into your family. Selena and Chelsea both, and I was reading that Mrs. Pomp studied broadcasting.
Yeah.
How did both of your daughters manage to, be successful in this field, the media world, like following your footsteps? What was that like, and how cool was that for you?
Well, I never forced that on them. I just said, again, my message would be just whatever you see that you like, and they happen to like sports, and so they went along with us on certain things and got into it. But it wasn't, they never wanted to necessarily do sports. It was just they liked the entertainment part of it more so. So they got involved in the entertainment aspects of it. My oldest daughter, Chelsea, went and did news in Erie and then Rochester, New York. So she went from one cold weather, ridiculously slow accumulation climate to another, which was worse. Rochester, all that lake, man.
Oh, that lake.
That's real cold right there.
That's real.
So, 4 years of doing that. And Selena just, she got a job in Steubenville, and she wanted to be a Penguins in arena host, which she was for 9 years.
Yeah.
And, then she got on stuff on our station at PTL, the show we do in the mornings. So she hit the Penguins at a good time. They won 2 Stanley Cups back to back, and she was fortunate enough that the Lemieux Group gave her Stanley Cup rings too.
Wow.
So I was always envious.
Yeah.
I got no rings. 43 years of doing this. Where am I going?
That's incredible.
We do have to get you a ring.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have shoes, Louis Vuitton shoes.
You heard it right there, Jess.
Jesse about to get paid.
Help me out, brother.
We will get you right. Absolutely.
I wanna talk about your favorite places to eat in Pittsburgh. Obviously, you're out here. You got a dinner reservation tonight.
Yes.
I was reading up. You and your wife like to go to a lot of different spots around the city. What are your top couple restaurants?
That's hard because I like a lot of things. I'm not one to I'm a pretty easy restaurant kind of decider, and all the food is good. I like small places that feature mom and pop type, home cooked stuff. But I'll start with steakhouses. You can't go wrong with any of them. I like steak, and
Napa.
You got Napa up here, you got Hyde Park, you got Capitol Grill, you got.
What's
all
your
of them.
go-to though, man?
Well, because I'm in town, normally Cap Grill.
Okay.
It's a place I go to a lot. If I have time.
A
lot of times we only have like an hour in between the early news and then where we have to come back. So I don't have a lot of time to eat unless it's fast.
Man.
So
I valeted you a couple times at Capitol Grill. You're always very generous. Thank you.
when I came out of the blue.
Yeah, because I remember now, it's funny because I used to valet at Capitol Grill, Morton's, A La Familia.
Oh, yeah, good place there. Plus Arlecchino, its sister restaurant, really good.
Unbelievable. But I remember I used to valet, and I remember all the people that, have recognizable faces, names that they used to valet, and obviously you remember what people tipped you when you were that kid. So you were always very generous.
Well,
and
I'm glad I was, and I like doing that. And I do remember there was a bash in my car. It was a dent.
No.
I wonder. I always scratched my head leaving the Capitol Grill that night. I said, "How did this happen?"
I only got one wreck. It was one serious wreck while I was valeting, and I got fired after that.
Yeah, like in a Lambo or something.
No, it was actually it was in an Audi. I was in the parking garage, and I hit a turn too early, and the backside hit.
It can happen. I mean, it happens.
That's a nightmare.
You got out of the car and you got to tell the guy hey, I just wrecked your car. Just wrecked your car. He's got a tip for me, and I'm like, you want to put that back in your pocket?
That's your deductible, my man. It's gone. Yeah.
I might have just disappeared from the job.
But I'm a big Italian eater too. I like Rico's. I like Valazzis. There are so many places to go, and don't you guys I don't know about you. As you get older, you'll develop this the most important part of the day is dinner.
Oh, yeah, I love
Yeah.
food.
Are you already there?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
that.
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean,
100%.
like, I look forward to it because
That's
I don't get a
like
chance to
the
eat it slowly, and
Yeah.
I like just taking my time.
Yeah.
I'm all dinner. I don't eat. Breakfast is like my least favorite meal. I don't know. People argue me on that all the time, but I know you need breakfast, but I didn't eat breakfast today. Then I went and worked out, and I was like feeling pretty
How
shitty.
much do you work out these days, off season?
I'm in there 5 days a week still. 5 days a week. I didn't start snapping.
This is what's great. If I had that job, I'd love to have that job because, first of all, I respect what you had to do to get it.
Thank you.
And to keep it because you're doing it at a high level. But it would be nice to be paid to work yourself into good shape.
Yeah.
I cannot
Yeah.
find the time.
Yeah.
So I've recently decided to have someone help me, a personal trainer, but it's hard because I'm more interested in being stretched than I want to stretch. So I see like athletes, they lay on a athletic
Yeah.
thing over there, and,
Yeah.
and all these guys move around for them. They don't just lay there and
Yeah.
they move.
Yeah.
You're stretched in every direction. You don't even have to do the stretching.
You're right. We do have a lot of resource. Like people sit there and you could just how you have to roll out.
No, for sure.
On a foam roller, roll yourself out.
Yeah.
Right.
You have people rolling you out. Like guys, we have people rolling us out.
It's like he's a doughboy. You know,
Oh,
with bread.
my
They're making
goodness.
bread and they're rolling out Christian Kuntz.
Yes, and that pipe that they have is like 150 pounds. That-
Oh, yeah, that thing hurts. I know what you're talking
Did you ever
about.
see
But
the
they
old-
know how to do it the right way too. I've seen people who do it the wrong way and end up hurting themselves along the way. Right?
Yeah, right.
You're
Did you ever
bru-
see the old Babe Ruth ones? Like how they used to warm up Babe Ruth and stuff, like his workouts and stuff. They
No.
would just like push on his stomach and, like as an ab workout or to stretch him out. It was the most like crazy sequence compared to what we do now.
Oh,
Back in the day, man, those guys, even like I remember golfers, everybody used to make fun of golfers because they would smoke.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that, most guys get out of their car, do 3 deep knee bends, go to the first tee and swing. That's it. That's your workout.
Yeah.
There's no prep time involved. Now,
oh,
because of Tiger Woods and all this physical fitness thing, now the guys are full-time training themselves.
how
Yeah.
much do you have to warm up when you get on set, like when you're doing your news show?
I mean, it's mostly just prep. I try to go through it in a dry run myself upstairs.
Yeah.
Are
Are you off the top when you're doing that and you're in front of a like? How does that work? Are you off the top? Are you that good now that you've been doing it for so long that you kind of just?
Well, it's a
You flow?
combination of both, actually. Doing games, you just have to keep talking. You
Yeah,
can't
you can't-
stop. Everybody, and play-by-play is a hard thing to do.
Oh,
People don't
man.
realize it. But those who do it well, we have a lot of very good people in this town who do it and do it very well. And I think it's just about preparation. Everything's about preparation. Your job is about preparation.
I do
You
see
have
your
to-
notes.
You have to do it, and I'm one of those people. I'd rather do my own prep. I don't. Sometimes I have people do it for you, send you notes. I find that if I write it out myself, it's a lot easier. Then I'll learn more. Because I got to figure out what I'm actually reading here.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you can just glaze over. It's a bunch of information, and I'll forget it all. So
I do
That's
see
my way
your
of
I
doing
do
it.
see your notes. Like Bob always has a
yeah,
paper, no joke, it's like this long, and it's
Yeah.
filled. Because I'll
Yeah,
walk
it
on the
is.
plane, he'll be on the plane, and his notes will be like this.
Yeah.
But and those are all written by you.
Those are all written. Yeah, it's the best way to learn, honestly. And if you know it, then you should be fine doing it. In Sportscast, most of the lead-in stuff before we get the highlights is written.
Yeah.
I write it and then I just ad-lib it.
Do you like doing? Would you? You can answer this however you want. Would you rather do a play-by-play or more so like a news thing or a sit-down interview with kind of Coach Tomlin? I know you
Yeah.
do that. Would you rather do a play-by-play or something like that?
It's all good. I like it all. I mean, I do. I think play-by-play is fascinating because it's live.
Yeah.
Get you there. You're at the moment.
Mhm.
You're the person that has to, lead the conversation, whatever it may be. But interviews are fun too. And I'd rather, it's hard to do it these days because you guys have a podcast and
We could
I
just
don't know
shoot
if you
the
go
shit.
out to shoot stories. Maybe you do. I don't know if you do or don't.
Not yet.
But,
Not
but,
yet,
but
yeah.
going out and spending a couple of days with someone who has a fascinating story to tell is pretty interesting to me. And then you edit it all together. The whole process is pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
That's what these guys Swing's looking at me behind the camera because they've been trying to
Uh-huh.
put me into, hey, we want to film you more outside of here in your life. And it's funny you said that because
But then you know
It is
how
interesting.
much taping is involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to go through all the tape and figure it out, and
See what
it's
you
like a
what
puzzle,
you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So
yeah.
but I think that's the challenge. It's a fun part of the challenge. too,
Yeah.
So
do you ever, when you're interviewing Coach Tomlin, like he obviously has a reputation for when he's talking to the media to really not give them anything. Like sayings are they are the sayings are the sayings.
Yeah.
What are they are? Do you ever find yourself like kind of stuck sometimes? Like, what the hell, dude? You're giving me nothing.
First of all, that's his show, so it's not something that we're doing it with him. So it's his show, and he dictates a lot of the content, as he should, on what we're going to do. Although he's easy to deal with, I think, and I find it interesting when he walks into the room because we BS a little bit first.
Oh, wow, that's on me.
That's a rookie move right there.
That is a rookie move. Wow.
See that?
That's on me.
That's Mike Tomlin. He heard you.
Yeah, he did. I don't have this number either.
So, but I think I get fascinated. I think he's so funny. I wish he would show more of that. I know why he doesn't publicly, but most of the people, like Belichick, everyone thought Belichick was just like, all he does is just gnarl at people. He has a good personality and he's very funny, but coaches don't like to show that part of it.
No.
So do you have any so with all these interviews you've done, do you have any interesting, maybe weird stories that happened early on? Is there any interviews you're like, that was crazy, or I was not expecting so and so to be like that, or even just an interview you're like, that was incredible? Any memorial ones?
I have a lot of interesting ones that.
I bet you do.
I bet, yeah.
I have to just figure this out what I'm going to tell you
here.
Some of this stuff has to
stay circle back
under wraps.
Did you sign any NDAs yet? Are you good?
So I think one of the fun things that there are two things that stood out to me. Number one, we were able to go because, again, CBS back in the day had Olympics. So in the 1998 Winter Olympics, we went to Nagano, Japan, and I told our station, I said, we have Penguins. This is the first time hockey players were allowed to go to the hockey Olympics. And so a lot of Penguins were there, and that was at Jaromir Jagr. They had a lot of Czech players on the Penguins roster. All of them went. Russian players, everybody. They had like 10 players were there. And so Jagr was really good to me because it's funny, you go over there, so many people, but I knew him, he knew me, so he gave us some access to things that I thought were very interesting. And I wish I can show you some of the stuff that we have. We have a blooper tape of things, but can't show it to you, quite frankly. But Jagr was a fun interview in many ways. Back then, he had.
I bet.
Yeah, he wasn't shy about gambling. That he used to gamble on things and
party women. Yeah, he's. I mean, he's.
Yeah.
He was an NHL star.
He was an NHL star. Right, with long hair, flowing hair from Kladno,
there was pictures that surfaced around of him with.
No, but he was great. There's a lot of stuff. Out there. Sometimes I wonder. AI makes me wonder what anything's real anymore. I don't know. But anyway, we had a great time doing that. And I learned a lot about just traveling to a country like that, what it was like. We were there for 42 days. We did live every day, and the time change of 14 hours was really interesting. So it made it very difficult to sleep or learn, But so the story is that the Czech Republic won the gold medal. And Jagr and his people, Jari Slager, who was here, Robert Lang, all those guys were Penguins. And so they came off the ice. And they had to go in the locker room. When they came back out of the locker room, he came out. And so we're doing an interview with him. And he says, wait a minute, my hair. I got to fix my hair. I said, yeah, you don't need to fix your hair. Your hair's fine. What are you talking about? He said, no, I got to fix my hair. So he goes back in, comes back out. It's all poofed and all ready to go then. As soon as that happens, the coach says, hey, we got to go. And I never got it done. I said, your hair. It cost me a chance to talk to you about this. Now, where am I going to get you? So the next day I had to do it.
Oh, wow.
So he was very concerned about the hair look at the time.
He did have some luscious.
All that lettuce in the back.
Trademarked,
right there.
He did.
So, your first ever interview, what was that like being on camera for the first time?
It was a little nerve-wracking, to be honest, because I was, like I said, I got hired right out of my internship, so I was 22 years old, and I started there. And I know the very first assignment was they sent us down to an LPGA golf event in Wheeling, West Virginia. And there was a girl named Jan Stevenson. She was a top golfer, very pretty lady, and very intimidating to be around, I thought. So that they wanted a story on her. She was leading the tournament at the time, and so fine, I did it. But I remember cautiously asking her about certain things that I felt uncomfortable asking her about. And the way I was phrasing things came out like a rookie. I was nervous, to be honest with you, because I had never done it other than, But again, the more you do it, the more you're prepared for it, the better it is.
I don't think people understand when you get in front of a camera, it changes a lot of things, and it's hard to come up with your thoughts and talk about things that you want to talk about, knowing that you're being
But the
recorded.
more you do this, aren't you more comfortable?
100%.
See, and it's just about doing it. It's that repetition. Then you realize it's just like sitting at a bar with your friends, right?
Sure.
You're sitting here talking. Honestly, that's what.
Well, that's how
it should come off as, anyway.
That's the feel we're trying. But I was a little nervous to have you in because I'm like, this dude's he's gonna fucking critique me right now.
you just swore on your own podcast.
Oh yeah,
Are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, but we can edit it out. This isn't the live news here, Bob.
No, I would be fined
media.
if that were the case. The FCC watches too much.
You'd be fined for that one. I want to talk about all the things you do in the community, charity work. We were reading a bunch of stuff. The guys have notes here. The giving back. What has kind of inspired you to do that? I know being from Pittsburgh, you're so involved in every sports team, every community. So what has kind of inspired you to be so involved in the community within these charities?
Well, that goes back again to my mother and father, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, and as a parent myself, and you will find this to be true. How many of you guys are dads?
Nobody over here.
Christian.
Okay, well,
Soon
when you are,
shit.
you'll see, man, the responsibility is pretty significant, right? You're raising kids, and those kids are a reflection on you. So my dad always used to say, and he hit me up with a lot of different phrases, hoping they would stick, and they did. One of them was, it's nice to be important, it's more important to be nice. And you have to take that to heart. He kept saying, nice to be important, important to be nice. Make sure you know that. And I've always used that in everything that I do. And I don't care what it is, I sometimes go to Giant Eagle. She has 3 items she wants me to get, and 2 hours later, I'm still there. She says, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Line 7 talking Steelers. They don't want to start talking, so I'm talking. I'm not going to blow them off. I talked to them. Now, what's on your list? I forgot." It's funny how that is, too. As a sports person, you'll remember everything about every possible thing in sports. But if she tells me to go to Giant Eagle, I invariably will have to text her 6 times about, what do you really want again? I'm sorry. So it's about, but yeah, just make sure you treat people the right way. And having gone through what I went through with my heart, I saw people in there who didn't have, a lot of success with it and had, problems later in their lives. So I've always wanted to be involved. We have a golf tournament, and we do it for a place called Partners for Quality. So 35 years we've been doing it, and we help, mentally challenged people, specific to kids, but as they grow into adulthood still. People who just want normal lives, people who want to get out there and not be shut down because they can't do the job. That we'll find jobs for them to do, which really makes them feel better, part of their communities. So that's what this agency does. And that came because I had a friend who went through that, and I saw, his son and what he had to go through just to get him to have, just to feel like a regular life, despite whatever problems they may be having. So it's really good, and then you see the results of it. You go down there and talk to people who've had those kind of.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is, and so there's a payback in knowing that you helped along the way.
When is that golf outing?
It's in June.
At Chartiers?
At Chartiers.
I want in that. Swing.
We'll be there.
We should get in that.
Yep. Okay.
When is the?
Now it's a Monday, June 11th. That's the week of the U.S. Open. So if you, I got to be busy that week too. Of all things, we had that date well in advance.
Oh my gosh, you are going to be busy.
So it's called Partners for Quality, and it's a great time. So we have it's all day. The price hasn't changed really in 35 years. We kept it the same. So we just want people to come have fun and understand what we're doing.
That's awesome.
Can I ask you a tough question, Bob? I wanted to know, because you go through 2 heart surgeries. That's tough, right? Like, that's a very tough thing to go through. So what did you learn from that experience? Because usually through hardship, we grow in some type of way. So, like, what's something major that you took from that experience?
Honestly, Shay, the best thing I ever took is that life is very, very difficult to go through, but there are going to be things you have to do to just keep going. You can't quit. Quitting is not a good option. Just because you don't make it at something, don't quit. You never quit. But also, I learned that it's fragile. I mean, you can be in a situation where if that stuff didn't work well, I could never, maybe I'm not even here, So I appreciate most every day that I have just because of that. And subsequently, I've had other things happen because of the medication I'm on.
Right.
And so I know that things can change in a hurry. Yeah. And so if you value your day-to-day life, which you should, a lot of people don't, and that's a mistake. Yeah. People have problems. Everybody has a problem. You got to just deal with it and make the best of it every day you got. And that's the biggest lesson I think I learned.
Wow.
Love that.
About me.
To clarify, so you getting on the path that you're on currently, was that a direct result of the the issues that you had, like, because you were gonna go,
Yeah.
you were
I
gonna
was going to
pursue
go.
golf,
Yeah, I was
right?
going to pursue golf. Yeah.
So like that's like a major,
That's crazy.
yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a really interesting story. And like, is it something that when you interact with like the youth or people that you're, trying to, somebody asks you for some guidance or whatever, I'm sure you've,
Oh, absolutely.
mentored, you tell them
I,
like,
I,
hey,
you can't quit. Like I said,
Right.
you can have something bad happen
never
to
know
you.
what's coming around
You
the
never
corner.
know.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to give up, then that's the end. There's no way back. But
Right.
if you understand, it's just a little setback. And
Yeah.
most of these things are little setbacks.
Right.
But
you
in
know.
a way, it was like kind of a like. Do you look
blessing.
at it as a blessing now?
Sure I
where
do.
you're like,
Sure I do.
probably would have never been in
It
this
was
field.
when looking back, it's like God's way of saying you weren't going to be that good of a golfer, young man. I'm going to change your life's direction, and
Yeah.
you're going to thank me later. That's what I
That's
took from
amazing.
it. Because maybe I wasn't going to be what I thought I was.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, as you're a kid, you play golf or whatever sport, you think you're the best, right?
That's a
Oh,
fact.
I think I can handle that. I could beat
Yeah.
it. And then maybe that's not that. I don't know if it ever would have turned out that. Probably not. So this was, yes, a blessing.
That's
in disguise.
incredible.
Yeah.
That is
It's
crazy.
such a cool story.
Because without those surgeries,
Yeah,
you might.
this never happens, most likely.
I may never get a chance to be on the Christian Kuntz podcast.
Yeah.
Damn
It
right.
all comes together.
Right.
It all comes together.
Or we could be sitting here talking about how you have 5 major championships.
Yeah.
That is
Or
true.
we could be talking about, hey,
Right,
this
yeah.
guy Bob Pompeani is
Oh,
the best
my
ever.
God.
Golfer, him and Tiger Woods.
Look at the money I left behind. My God. Oh,
Now,
yes.
Bob, I was looking. Did you win a couple Emmys? Is that true?
Uh,
Wow.
they're local. They're mid-Atlantic regional kind of things just in this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, for different things we did. So
Well,
Don't
congratulations.
downplay it.
I've become not the trophy stuff or that kind of stuff is fun, but it really doesn't matter in the end because it's there. It's recognition, I suppose, of what we do, which is great. But at the same time, I just like doing this. It's fun.
How often when you go out in public are people stopping you? Like you was talking about Giant Eagle. Like,
Yeah.
how often does that happen?
A
Because
lot.
they probably think that you.
You know, it's funny. They
Or-
know my voice before they know because I normally have a hat on.
Yeah.
And I'm, normally it's in the morning and I look like crap
Yeah.
and haven't had enough coffee. And so, but as soon as they hear my voice, it's like a trigger mechanism. And
Yeah.
they look and oh, hey,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
think about the Penguins and their trade deadline? What about the Steelers? Whatever it is. you
Yeah.
know. So I love to talk about sports.
I could actually
it's-
confirm that. I had a friend back in high school that actually used to work at Giant Eagle, and he said exactly verbatim. He was like, "I just heard the voice, and I looked over, and it was him."
That's funny.
It's years ago. It just like came up as you were saying that.
Yeah,
so
I'm a pretty
true.
regular. I go to the same place, same time,
Yeah.
almost every day. So
That is that is actually hilarious because
that's great.
I didn't know you. I obviously been listening to you for however long I've been alive, but
Yeah.
I didn't get to meet you really till when I kind of got on the Steelers, met you through the Waldrons.
yeah, through the Waldrons,
About
and then
5, 6, 7 years ago.
I saw you at the Duquesne Club a couple of times.
Let's not
and,
talk about those nights, Bob. Bob, don't bring those nights
Actually,
out.
let's unwrap.
No,
it.
I don't. No, we don't want to do that because I'm part of that problem. So we won't get in there either.
Let's save everyone.
Okay. All right.
There was just a couple. I had a couple drinks.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just-
And this
it was
is
just,
this
you
has
know,
been the
having
Christian Kuntz
fun, sharing some stories.
It's been nice.
Oh, that was funny. No, but I do remember that Duquesne Club night. And then remember you said something to me, and I think I had a bad game. We were there on like a Wednesday.
Did I leave you a voicemail message? I probably did
Yeah.
that too.
I do, and I still have that
Yeah,
voicemail.
I'll erase it. No sense in keeping
got
that
a
right.
Clip it.
Oh,
That's
man, no,
incredible.
we can't clip that. No. Well, shit, Bob, this has been awesome. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No, it's been fun. And I'm very impressed with what you guys do here. My goodness.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
This
you.
is first class all the way. And I've seen a lot of these kind of studios, nothing like this one. So keep up the good work.
Appreciate that.
I
Thank
you,
appreciate you
Bob.
having me, and best to you.
I
Proud of what
appreciate
you've been able to do from someone who loves to see people in Western Pennsylvania do well.
Thank you.
You've done it, and now you're you should have been in the Pro Bowl games.
Ah,
Why not? Everybody else
Say it
was.
again,
You should
Bob.
have.
Yeah.
Say it again, Bob.
You
You should have been in the
should've.
Pro Bowl, man.
He's like one of these. If you don't notice tackles, if you don't notice offensive line or longs or anything, you
Yeah.
only have how many of these a game that you get. If you mess up, all it takes is one, right?
Just one.
And people will be, oh, look at that snap, but they never compliment you on the consistency you've had because you don't
Thankless
give them a
job.
reason to, which is good.
yeah,
And I'm sure that's what the coaches love about you too, right?
thank you. I guess I just.
Who's a better golfer, you or Boswell?
Ooh,
Is this my podcast?
Dang.
No, but I want to know that because
shot got taken.
Boz. I mean, Boz, Kyle Allen. When Pat Pete was on the team, he was.
I knew Pat Pete he went down to the
He
in
was
the
solid.
Bahamas. he was always talking about some of the places, the Albacore, is that what it's called? The
He's all over.
Albacore Club. It's in the Bahamas, and he's like
He's
someone
legit.
I know he is.
Yeah, he's legit. But so is
So,
Balls and Kyle Allen.
Who's the best though?
There's a lot riding on this.
Yeah. So listen.
That's a long, deep breath,
if,
bro.
if Kyle Allen hears this, like, I'm just going off the facts. I think Boz is up on him on the series 3-2.
Okay. That's
So
it.
you got to go with
facts.
Boz. Boz's
Okay.
swing is kind of he plays golf just how he kicks, like it's so effortless, and then he hits like his 3-iron,
Well, you know what?
320.
His mentality strikes me as that's what you need in golf,
That's exactly what you need. in
right? You got to
golf.
have strong mental. If you hit a bad shot, so be it. He wipes it off and moves to the next one. That's a lot of guys can't do that, you know.
100%.
So I want you to come down to one of these simulator places I go to. It's in Washington called 9 Yard Sports Golf Lounge, and I'm going to have a little
right.
tournament, if you don't mind, with you, me, Bob Airy. If you want to bring Boz, it'll be a closer to the pin competition for some cash.
We're in. We wanted to do something. We wanted to do
There you
some Boz and I versus you and Rich.
We can do that.
All right.
Wait a minute. What's Boz's handicap before I ask?
Well, he's like a 5.
Okay. We can handle that.
He might be lower than a 5, especially when he comes back from the off season. He's probably like a 2 or 3.
All right. Well, can we do that sometime before you get
Yes.
cranking? Because you guys have stuff every single month, it seems,
Yes, when he's
from
come,
OTAs to whatever.
or we could try to line something up. Training camp. We get an off day. Laurel Valley.
Laurel Valley. See, he thinks big.
See,
He knows where to go.
Yeah.
Because they have great buffet lunches there, some of the best in the business.
and Bob has seen me there too for a buffet lunch.
I've never seen someone take shrimp and stuff it in his pants
Oh, yeah,
and
yo,
leave the
nah,
facility.
Christian.
I mean, come on.
Christian.
That's not true.
It just sounded good.
Oh, well, Bob, thank you again, boys.
Pleasure. Good to
Everybody,
see
thank
guys.
you.
Appreciate the opportunity, man.
Season 1, episode 31.
Wow.
Wow, we're cooking.
31.
We started in July, right
I'm
before
impressed.
training camp.
Keep it up.
Thank you. Like, share, subscribe, retweet. Tune in for maybe a TikTok.
Maybe. You never know.
Maybe.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
see. Thank you. I do this. Bang! We're out.